Welcome back to Morning to the Lab. Keith and friends, the Morning Loop Reloaded. This hour, nation. We got the Morning Loop Reloaded. We got In the Gym coming up with John and Marty. Hey, you want to train yourself or not? If you want to train yourself, these guys are going to give you some advice. But after the advice, you're thinking, fuck, I don't want to do it myself. I'm going to hire these guys. So I purposely told them to make it complicated. So the segment of In the Gym is going to be complicated so you guys can't do it yourself. Yeah, true story. So you're going to have
nothing with me is complicated. Come on.
And then, of course,
as you know, I like to make things really
That's it. And of course, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we have Creator Spotlight in the Community Corner, and then, of course, Business and Branding segment at the 45-minute mark for the second hour of this 2-hour show. But this hour, kicking this thing off, guys, we are going to dive into the psychology. Oh, yeah, the psychology, Marty, of why people think they're right, even when they're wrong. So here's the thing. Why are some people so confidently wrong? And what does the science say about it? Let's dig into it. A study asked 1,300 people to read a story, Christina, about a school running out of water and offered them different solutions. Some read only one side of the argument while others saw both sides. The group that saw one side of the argument was much more likely to be confident in their opinion, even though they were missing the whole picture. They were sure they knew enough to make a judgment, Johnny. But when they were presented with the opposing side, they became less confident and were actually willing to change their mind. Interesting. But here's the thing. This only works if people are open to new information. In some cases, especially when it comes to politics or long-term beliefs, people dig in and refuse to change. So John, Marty, Christina, what do you guys think? Can people really change their minds once they've made a judgment, or do we have the ability to change our minds? And I'm going to share more with you, but what's your first take on this?
My first, when the top, even before you got going on this whole thing, when you just told us what the topic was, my first gut reaction is people are way too concerned with being right rather than just getting my thing is this. I don't need to be right. I just need to get what I want. I'm happy to be wrong if it gets me what I want. And people lose sight. Some people, you talk to them and they are arguing a point till the cows come home and say, hey, you can be right. This is not about being right. I'm saying this in my head because I won't waste my breath saying this to a person like this. But you tell me 3 + 3 is 1,000. And if you want to argue that, you're right. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? It's people are so concerned with being right rather than actually focusing on getting what they want or serving whatever the purpose is for the conversation or the topic. And I think that's a huge problem people have.
So Marty, how do you handle situations where people are so dead set on their opinion, but you know yourself that they don't have all of the facts, that they are absolutely unequivocally wrong?
Before that, I got something to say. I'm going to answer that, but real quickly, drop the freaking ego. And I think that's a problem, man. Yeah. It's just the ego, man. Why? Oh, my goodness. And then I don't understand how people can't look at another side and they how did you write an essay in school? How did you use critical thinking skills? Because you don't display it in real life. Maybe it's different in school, but I'm just like the critical thinking skills are lacking. Prime example, this is to answer your question, Keith. The other day I'm in the gym, older guy, skinny guy comes up to me, asks me how I built muscle. I had the guns out like I'm John Anderson, right? So I'm telling him, I'm like, I'd say first two things, you gotta lift heavier because I see what you're lifting, and you gotta eat more. Oh, I eat a lot. Clearly not.
Clearly not enough.
Clearly what you're doing is not working. And you see me in here, I'm in here looking like the black Bruce Wayne or the black Clark Kent. And you asking me for advice. And what you're doing is not working. So I let them just suffer. I let them suffer all by themselves. I got nothing. I can't help you. I tried to give him some tips. He didn't want to listen. I'm gonna just let you. I'm gonna just let you keep doing your thing, and maybe you'll come around one day, because that's the only way they're gonna learn.
So Christina, I know you're a woman of science. I know you're a woman. You're curious yourself. What's the antidote to this, Christina Flynn?
What's the antidote to this? Strong opinions loosely held, right? Like, you can have a strong opinion by all means, but know that you are one piece of factual information away from changing that opinion and being wrong. And being wrong is totally fucking fine, because most people that hang on to those realities, they're hanging not onto reality because our brains are not actually experiencing reality. They're experiencing our perception of reality, which is biased by our lived experiences, our other biases. So our perception of reality isn't real in the first place. And then they're doubling down because of what Marty's saying. There's ego. There's like fear of failure. I don't want to be wrong. My opinion is I have a lot of strong opinions, but they are very loosely held. If somebody else comes in here with something more compelling, I want to listen,
Yeah.
I want to understand, and I want to
Yep.
say, you know what, thank you for telling me that, because I don't want to be walking around with shitty fucking information if it's not actually based in anything.
Yes, it's so on the
agree.
money, because an opinion is basically that your opinion should be based on what knowledge you have at that moment. And as soon as that knowledge is, say, updated or improved, your opinion should pivot. And I think that's the problem. People, they ignore whatever it is that's coming in that should change their opinion. So they already stated their opinion. I got to be right, so I'm going to keep that. And it's such a limiting thought process.
This is good, Johnny, because you and I are the old dogs here on the bench. And here's the question then. I know my answer, but I'm going to ask you. Can an old dog learn new tricks?
I guess it comes down to, does that old dog want to find a better world for himself? Because if the old dog he wants to stay in his little kennel, then he needs to just say, I'm an old dog. I can't learn new tricks and enjoy where he lives. But if that old dog wants to find brighter, bigger, better place, a better existence, happier thought, growth is what makes a human being happy. When you improve a little bit every day, you feel satisfied. And by saying I'm an old dog, I don't learn new tricks, you're basically saying I'm done growing, which means you're going to be fucking miserable.
And I bring it up, Johnny, because as I'm talking to our audience, we know a lot of our audience is 25 to 44 audience right now. Men, I was there before too, and so was Johnny. So I'm looking at Christina, I'm looking at Marty, and I'm saying that if I can teach you something that I wish I would have learned earlier in life, it was about humility and curiosity. Because you know what? Fuck, man. I love learning new shit every single day. You know what I love, Johnny? Again, I'm looking at you, but we're the same age. I love being corrected these days. I love being told I'm wrong. You know why? Because that means I'm learning something. So again, we're going back to failure. When somebody says, no, Keith, you're wrong. I'm like, oh, fuck, really? Tell me then so I can learn something. Right? So update me. Exactly. Right?
Update is an upgrade.
Yes. Yes. So if I can teach you guys, if I can offer something, nation, a suggestion, a recommendation, you make the decision. But as you go about your day today, we're really leaning into failure today and redemption. Embrace humility. Embrace curiosity. Because according to psychologists, the antidote to all this, and Christina teased it a little bit, it's about being curious and humble and not losing sight of that, right? Because when you don't, when Marty was told he was a loser in the gym, if he wasn't curious and humble, he just would have fucking kept being a loser. True story, right, Marty? That's exactly it. Tina.
I love that. I love that analogy too, right? Like, it's update the software. We all have software in our brain that is running right now. And if you were to get the brand new fucking iPhone 16, you never got any upgrades or updates to your phone, what happened? We all know those fucking friends. That my wife is that person. I'm like, could you update? Could you just get? And then she's looking at my phone being like, what's that shit? Why do you have those features? I don't have those features. Because she won't update her phone. We need the updates. And just like within ourselves, the updates are going to happen externally to us. You can stay stuck in the 16 model and everyone else got the new features, or you can decide to actually update your phone and get new information, get new features, and produce more, be more productive, have better performance.
Yes.
On that level, I got to say, especially as I get older, and I'm really, I guess just to put, as I get older, we get wiser. It's crazy. And as I look around, I see people, they're doing well. And first off, I'm happy for them. And the first thing I think is, you know what? He knows some shit that I don't. And I want to find a way to get that information.
Yeah.
And when you're constantly seeking, it's all the rules change.
That's the purpose of the show, nation. We're giving you. So again, my inspiration, the goal with the show is to create content to help you guys get going, to be those voices that you need to help you move through your day. So listen, the big takeaway here is really simple. There's nothing complicated about it, actually. Don't let your brain trick you into thinking you have all the answers. Whether you're 25, 30, 35, 40, you don't, right? Stay curious, ask questions, accept the fact that you're wrong. Don't be afraid to want to be wrong, frankly, because if you're wrong, you're going to learn. And it's just a different way of looking at it, right? Be open to learning something more. You're more than likely to get things done right now when you accept that more than you don't. So get all the facts and make those decisions. Drop us a comment.
I'm sorry, Keith. I just had it in the weightlifting world, right? Strength, whatever it is. There's not that many people who have done it for 40 years plus.
Yes.
And I know for me, when I do get next to one of those people who have done it longer than I have, even if it's just a year or just a few years, I am so interested to ask them questions about their journey, because if somebody has done something longer than me, I want to know what they know. And it's not about me trying to be right. It's about me trying to acquire information so I can be better, so I have a better understanding. And it's so fun when you find someone like an elderly person that has done what you want to do. That person knows a wealth of information. Having an hour conversation with that person might save you years of trial and error.
This is why, John, I try not to make this about ages here, but if I just something I really can implore my friends like the Martys and the Christinas and my son and the generation that's just underneath me, embrace that concept that John just said, man. Go and be humble and know and actually accept that you don't know everything and just go and learn. It's hard, man. It's hard when because I've been there. I've been the know-it-all. Fuck yeah, I've been the know-it-all. Right. But when the moment
the younger we are, when we're 18 is when we know the most.
Exactly. You're listening right now, and that's why I've been watching Marty's journey come to life. Maybe Marty's taken a little percentage of things we're saying every single day, but it's wonderful to see people move forward and adapt things through humility and curiosity. Guys, we can obviously talk about this all day and every hour, but the purpose of this show, guys, is to get you guys going, to get you moving out of your bed, and to hit those big audacious goals. And the first moment to do that is right now. Get going. But hey, yes. Jimmy, let's get John and Marty into the gym, and we're going to talk today about doing your own programming. Now, I know you guys typically are rolling over going, I need some help. You're going to reach out to Marty for a program. You reach out to John for a program. But sometimes that first step is saying, I'm going to do it myself. Right. And then we go a little too complicated or a little too difficult, or I want to get to the next level. So sometimes it's doing it yourself. And then the next level is hiring a guy like John or Marty or hiring somebody from the lab. But today, John and Marty are going to sit down with you guys and just talk about how to put your own programming together yourself. And you're either going to do one of two things. You're going to go, this is pretty good, I can do it myself. Or you're going to say, I'm going to call these guys. John, Marty, let's get you guys rolling with In the Gym. And then we're going to come back to the community corner. All right, let's do it.